Watching TVC Breakfast, let's check out the top stories in the newspapers this morning. Starting off with the Nation newspaper, is still on the tax reform bill controversy. Now the lead story on the Nation reads, Reform bills propose 55% value-added tax revenue for states as proposal scale second reading at the Senate. House of Reps in the meantime continues consultations. Population census likely next year, says the National Population Commission. Tributes for ex-Senate President YS, that occurred on Thursday. That's also captured in the Nation. Tinubu offers French investors easy in, easy out opportunity as Macron pledges support collaboration. Australia bars under 16 from using social media. Daily Independent now. Tax reform bills propose new sharing formula, cede 55% to states, mole zero VAT on exports, essential consumption, reduce company income tax from 30 to 25%. Polytechnics embark on strike December 2. Ajero, the NLC president, criticizes states' implementation of national minimum wage. 24 people killed during End Bad Governance protest, says Amnesty International. We're edging closer to stability in food security, says President Tinubu, as he unveiled initiative to reduce out-of-school population. Daily Trust now. Reps in rowdy session over tax reform bills as proposals scale second reading in Senate. Influential leaders move to resolve Arewa Consultative Forum crisis. Abductors of toddler siblings demand 300 million naira ransom. Nigeria slumps in latest FIFA ranking. And court sacks Benue APC caretaker committee. Vanguard now still following up on the tax reform bill controversy. Of course, this revelation that the bills offer 55% to states in new sharing formula is also captured here. Tinubu to Macron, a starved nation will not care about weather, environment. Bode George tackles Ononuga for insulting the former president Obasanjo. Manufacturing sector contributes 5.02 trillion naira to economy in 9 months. Let's check out Voice of Liberty now. Nigeria's population census to be conducted in 2025. Chairman of the National Population Commission says UK introduces electronic travel authorization for non-European visitors. Finnish court sets May 2025 deadline for Simon Ekpa's terrorism trial. In Paris, President Tinubu urges more investment in food security, solid minerals, energy, education. Finally, SEC warns investors against crypto platform. Marino FX Limited says it is not licensed. Ibrahim.
Right, the first with me here is the Hope newspaper. Federal, 18 years after, federal government to conduct census in 2025. Delay in exercise hampering decision-making, resource allocation. Also, Ondo government to clamp down on unregistered birth attendants. NUJ elects new president, other officers. Reps confirm Oluyede as chief of army staff. Alleged $2.8 million scam. FBI nabs notorious fraudster. Bobo Chicago. Court remands man, lover, for allegedly assaulting baby mama. Next is New Telegraph newspaper. Paris, Tinubu calls for more investment in food security, solid minerals, others. Says Nigeria positioning for more FDI to partner France in fight against insecurity. We're deepening civil-military relations to enhance national security. That's Oluyede. And then Biafra, Finnish court sets May 2025 deadline for Simon Ekpa's trial. Tax reform bills, invitation of experts by National Assembly in order. Akpabio. Minimum wage, 70,000 naira, may not buy tissue paper in next 5 years, NLC. And then eating after 5 p.m. increases blood sugar risk. That's according to study. The Daily Times is next. President Tinubu calls for increased investment in food security, energy, and education. A past terrorism trial date set. House confirms Olufemi Oluyede as Army Chief. Bishop T.D. Jakes. I'm not afraid to die. Tax reform bills. Scale second reading at Senate. And then above the nameplate, IBB, Otom, Tambuwal, Tambuwal or Abuja land title fees. Next is Nature News newspaper. Special report. UNESCO highlights how water scarcity escalates conflict. Tinubu urges increased French investment in food security. Others. CSOs hail Nasarawa Assembly's probe of Chinese company. Environmental Health Council launches a CRESOL the funded data center, and federal government courts state government support on environmental actions. Fact check. Do gas stoves really kill 40,000 Europeans annually? You can read up on that. Next is Nigerian News Direct. Hashtag End Bad Governance. Amnesty International accuses police of killing 24. Says it has evidence of deaths, demands transparent investigation. Lawmakers confirm Oluyede as Chief of Army Staff. Why poly lecturers are embarking on warning strike, December the 2nd, ASU President. Edun Sanwo-Olu, others grace commissioning of Zenith Bank Paris branch. You lied. Oyetola paid 17.2 billion naira pension, gratuities in 2 years. APC replies, Adeleke. Next is First News newspaper. 24 lives lost. Amnesty International exposes police brutality in hashtag End Bad Governance crackdown. Tinubu calls for French investments in Nigeria's food security, energy, education. Community leader claims Port Harcourt refineries products are old stock. Protests must lead somewhere, not just temporary euphoria or shimbaju. And then next is Platform Times. UK earned over 40 billion naira in visa fees from Nigerians between 2023 and 2024. Nigeria to tackle out-of-school crises with skills training, Tinubu tells Macron. Ogun RS unveils 2025 road tax sticker to combat multiple taxation. Hajj 2023, NACON refunds 5.3 billion naira to states, tour operators for port services. Nigeria requires $19 million to tackle neglected tropical diseases. Federal government, 24 killed, 1,200 arrested in End Bad Governance protest. Amnesty International report. TASWED rewards excellence as oldest PhD graduate. Best students bag millions. How I received $400,000 for Emefiele. Witness tells court. Mace carted away as chaos. Mars Ogun local government legislature's inauguration. Next is this Nigerian newspaper. We return out of school children to classroom. Tinubu tells Macron. Says no child should go to bed hungry. Seeks more investment in food security, solid minerals, other sectors from France. Crashes. FRSC moves to revoke licenses, prosecute offenders. FCT lists of outstanding payments of CFO bills. Tax reform bills for second reading in Senate. Proposed new sharing formula. Cede 55% to states. And then next, on the ear of the newspaper is only 200 psychiatrists catering for over 200 million Nigerians. That's APN laments. Business Day newspaper is next. Christmas, Nigerians choose Kenya, Morocco over Dubai on visa constraints. African nations dig deep for mining investors to diversify economies. Weak Naira squeezes cocoa processors, chocolatiers. Last but not least is the Guardian newspaper. World AIDS Day. Rising spread, more HIV infected kids show raise to zero scourge. Senate moves forward with tax reform bills as critics call for caution. Shun migration, federal government tells fresh foreign-trained medical doctors. Witness tells court how he collected $400,000 for Emefiele. Global wages outgrowing inflation, says ILO. Amnesty International accuses police of killing 24 protesters in Kano. Others. Emphasis on individual success weakens political action, says Oshimbajo. Electricity subsidies skewed against masses, minister affirms. And then you see the infographics of the rising spread, more HIV-infected kids, which is slowing race to zero scourge, right there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Kemi.
All right, those are the stories. As we always say, we urge you all to go on and get all the information that you need. So many stories there, battling for prominence, the tax reform bills, the controversy lingers, and what next for the country amidst assurances that this 4 proposed laws are pro-poor, in other words, for the welfare of, the underserved in the country. But then there's also this story that we see replicated across several papers with us. Nigeria's census to be conducted in 2025. Did you say 18 years after the last census? That was in the 90s. We have another one to look forward to. The chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasiru Issa Kwara, announces that Nigeria's long overdue, emphasis on long overdue national census will finally be conducted next year. He says the delay, because there was a time, I think last year or 2 years ago, where there was a talk on the census, mass dissemination of information and awareness had been sent out. It was at the twilight, I believe, of the Buhari administration. That's right. Only for the announcement to come in again that plan had been suspended before the election, right? So he emphasized, that's the NPC boss, that the delay in conducting the census has hindered Nigeria's ability to effectively assess population needs and alleviate resources, particularly in the rural areas. There is need for, we've always been talking about data, how updated is our data gathering, data collection, data analysis. We're speaking about, the pros of technology, and we hope that, they will do all the due diligence that this kind of grand exercise deserves. And at the end of it, the result matters, and, everyone is the better for it. We capture just everyone that needs to be captured under this scheme, and then we move on to ensure the mass deployment of resources. Absolutely.
So especially with the fact that we have people in authorities, whether in the economic sector, you have those in education, even the president sometimes will use the figure as Nigeria's population, over 250 million.
Yes.
And then others will say 200 million.
Absolutely.
Some will even say we are, getting close to 300 million. We don't even know whether people are more in the north or getting more in the north or reducing, or even in the southeast who are clamoring, advocating for more states, even in the southwest, different, we have disparities in the number of Nigerians that we have. Absolutely. But what we know, as a matter of fact, is we are the most populous Black African nation, So, but in all of these, we need to know so that we'll be able to channel all of our maybe plans, everything we want to do, governance. We'll be able to properly plan and get things done the right way in the country. It's very, very key that we know the number of people that we have in Nigeria. So, 2025, according to the NPC chair, we just hope that this is also not, in any way extended again, so that Nigerians will know that, yes, rather than having 200 million or 250 million Nigerians or whatever numbers we have, we definitely have to know the number of Nigerians that we have in the country. So basically, Kemi, let's just hope that this is not, further postponed, because we just have to get this done, especially before the elections.
That is very crucial. Which election, by the way? The next general election?
Whatever election.
Okay.
So we just need to know the number of, because if you're referring to maybe local governments, states, or the national, the presidential election, we just need to know how many Nigerians we have, so that the time they're sharing palliatives, we'll be able to say, okay, how many people get it, over how many people didn't get it, or over the number of Nigerians that we have in that locality. It's really very key.
I think that's a spot-on, you know, analysis now that you just raised. Now, the issue of palliatives, of course, there's still that debate of this issue of palliatives. Is that even the way to go?
Well,
but if we must do that, no, it's legitimate. If we must do that, you know, let's capture, though the states had said it shouldn't be a national scheme. They have said, okay, we have the right because these are the people in our domain. We shouldn't allow the federal government to determine who gets what at the state level, because it will still be disseminated, you know, lower and lower. So let the state governments run with whatever data that they have. But we hope that this census program would, of course, you know, have ripple effect at the state and local government levels, and you know, all
especially
the
also really now to health-related issues like malaria vaccines, whatever vaccines,
mosquito nets, all of those. Looking at
to underserved
the rate of births monthly and otherwise.